It's here. It's before it's being converted to 128 bits. There's a preprocessor there, and that's really interfering. So at first I asked Meter Networks to bypass this whole thing, and they did. Now I also have the code for that FPGA and without the preprocessor. So that's not doing it. The rest is not interfering with any data. The snort rules itself are all in the backend FPGA. And well, I don't use that snort. I even never used it as a snort box. I don't know how that works actually. So does that answer your question? Yep. Okay. Any other questions, please? Yes.
Okay. On the calculation of CRCs for IP packets, if you've already discarded the earlier packets that were captured, you don't have them around to calculate the CRC for the later halves. But you could maintain a partially calculated checksum. And if you have enough data to match it up so that you recognize it with the later fragments that come in.
You say you can calculate the checksum partially.
Yes.
But you need to match it against a checksum that is in the packet.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't really understand how to do that. You have, let's say, one as checksum in your packet, and then you calculate and you come at 0. But it might be that this fraction you have left that you cannot calculate right now, makes that 0 again. Makes it 1 again. And then the packet is good. So I don't see how. If you can tell me how I can partially calculate a checksum, then I'm really interested. I don't know.
I mean,
what I can do is and actually did. I can calculate the IP checksum without option headers, because just the IP packet alone is and the Ethernet frame is too small to match the minimum of 64 bytes. So I have some padding bytes left to do the calculation. IP is possible. IPv6 doesn't have a checksum, but you basically are more interested into this payload data that is this, where you have much more chance to have a bit error in, and that is being calculated right at the end of that frame. And the problem is that I don't know where the end of the frame is. But if I can partially calculate, I'm really interested. I'm not so smart to do that. You had?
Yeah. The two XenPaks or whatever it is are used.
XPack.
XPack. Okay. You use the end is used, and the other components probably also active. So if the power fails on the box,
then
the link is dead.
Then there's no forwarding.
Okay. Do you use other mechanisms? Because I guess that customers don't really like you. Well, probably they already have a problem when you put the box in between, but.
Yeah. It's not really not meant to be permanently into the line.
Okay.
At first, we don't want to. We are not using this as for any lawful interception, whatever. It's not happening at the Internet Exchange because you have.
Okay.
It's just to put into the line, to look at the traffic and getting it out again. The photonic switch that we use to do that,
it copies the data already, right?
Is also an active device. You have photonic switches that are basically relays that relay fiber, but these are these mirrors that are being held into position by static electricity. It also needs power. The Ethernet switches also need power. So the solution here is use redundant power. And another thing is that many ISPs have their own redundancy solutions. You can have two connections at one internet exchange. They can use M6 and D6, whatever.
Yep.
And so,
Hello. My question is regarding WAN-Fi and LAN-Fi. I believe your switch vendor supports both. Does this solution support you doing the same thing with WAN-Fi config list?
we don't support Wi-Fi framing at the M6. We only do Ethernet framing.
Well, that's still Ethernet framing, but okay.
And there are no well, Wi-Fi is not a framing, right?
Well, you instead of doing 64B66 framing, you do STM64 framing. It's still Ethernet frames. Well, okay,
Yeah,
it depends on how you define Ethernet
Yeah,
framing.
but we only look at the real plain Ethernet frame, preamble, start of frame delimiter, MAC addresses. This is what we see, and we don't support any STM1 or other type of connection. So.
Okay, I'm not talking about packet over SONET. I'm still talking Ethernet, but
What's that?
it's framed so it's compatible with STM64, but it's still Ethernet. But okay, your answer is no. That's what I was looking
No,
for.
and also this XPAC optics that are on this thing, yeah, that's just only Ethernet framing.
Well, yes. For instance, your Ethernet switches, I know for a fact, can be configured for WAN-Fi or LAN-Fi on the port. So it has a dual mode framer that will do this. So my question was this, if the XPACs, I don't know if the framer is on the XPAC like on the ZenPack, or if it's an XFP type.
It's on the XPAC. They don't do that.
No, then that answers the question. Then it's not a problem.
We don't use it. So. More questions? Okay. Then I hope it was clear and interesting for you.